My name is Peter Vranes. I'm the co-founder, CEO of Nutromics. We're a diagnostic medical device company, and we exist to save millions of lives through continuous diagnostic monitoring. So the problem that we're tackling is that clinicians are making life and death decisions in the dark. And that's because they're hampered by insufficient and delayed lab diagnostics. Now let me take you through basically how lab diagnostics are done in simple terms. So a clinician orders a test, a blood draw is taken, that sample is then delivered to the lab, it's analysed in the lab, and then the clinician gets a single data point of where that patient was several hours ago. Now, in the ICU setting, where commonly trend information is required, that process needs to be repeated multiple times. And in reality, that rarely happens. It's just impractical. And incredibly, 70% of all clinical decisions are based on this process. And the outcome, as you can imagine, is that it costs patients their lives, and it costs billions of dollars in inefficiency in the hospital system. So our solution is a wearable diagnostic, what I have in my hand, that provides continuous and real-time diagnostic monitoring. So instead of one data point that the clinician receives several hours ago, they will now receive with this device thousands of data points, giving them critical trend information to improve patient outcomes. Now this device replaces the blood draw, the sample delivery to the lab, and the analysis in the lab. And in effect, it's what we call a lab on a patch, because all of that is done on this patch. And for the first time, clinicians will receive personalized, patient-centric insights to improve patient outcomes, save lives, and billions of dollars in improved hospital efficiency. So the technology is comprised of a DNA sensor platform. Now this is a sensing platform that can monitor any molecular target continuously and in real time. And what we do is we coat these little microneedles that you can see on that screen, they're very small, about 1 millimeter, with this DNA sensor. So each microneedle has a different sensor coated on the end. And what we can do is multi-analyte sensing. So we can stream multiple sensors, multiple targets in parallel. That's unprecedented in the industry. So this technology is highly differentiated. For any technology to play in this place, it has to do two things. It needs to be a platform technology that can monitor any molecular target, and it needs to be proven to work on body. And our DNA sensor is the only one that is both a platform technology and proven to work on body, which is very exciting. Now, we often get compared to continuous glucose monitors. That technology has revolutionized type 1 diabetes and also moving now into type 2 diabetes. And we are the evolution of that technology, and there's two reasons for that. So CGMs are based on enzymatic sensing, and that's not a platform. Our DNA technology is a platform. This timeline tells a story. So in the last 40 years, there's only ever been 5 enzymatic sensors that have been developed and shown to work on body. Now compare that to our DNA sensing platform. In the last 5 years, we've developed more than a dozen sensors and shown them to work on body, more than doubling what the whole enzymatic industry took 40 years to do. That's the power of a platform. Secondly, those 5 sensors are all metabolites, things endogenous in our body. That's the class that you can do with enzymatic sensing. We can do metabolites, but we can also do drugs, proteins, hormones, meaning we can go into blue ocean territory where no other technology can compete. Now, I don't want you to think that this is just aspirational. We have 10 peer-reviewed papers showing that this technology works on body. So if you can monitor any molecular target continuously and in real time, what problems in healthcare can you solve? That's the question that we've been posing for quite some time. And we went back to the reason that we exist as a company, that's to save lives. So we're going after some of the deadliest disease states in the world. That includes cardiovascular disease, acute kidney injury, sepsis, and therapeutic drug monitoring that goes across all of these disease states. So our first market is therapeutic drug monitoring of the antibiotic vancomycin. Very commonly dosed, 1 in 5 of all inpatients in US hospitals get this drug. However, it has a very narrow therapeutic window and high toxicity. And clinicians get very limited data to get patients into that therapeutic zone. The outcome of this is that 43% of patients get a vancomycin-induced AKI, one of the top 10 killers in hospital, with a mortality rate of 33% in the acute setting. We started here because we can have a huge impact in this market straight away. So instead of 3 data points over 36 hours, which is what clinicians get now, with this technology, this device, they will get thousands of data points continuously and in real time. So it's the equivalent of taking the blindfold off, and their ability to get a patient in the therapeutic zone, keep them out of the toxic zone, is greatly enhanced. So in the US, the TAM for our first product is $4 billion, and that's comprised of 6 million patients getting vancomycin every year for an average of 8 days with a patch cost of $80. Now that's a replacement IVD cost of the current system now. Now beyond our first market, vancomycin, we're going further down the TDM vertical with other targets such as aminoglycosides. Now remember, I'm talking about one device here. Each of these new indications is on the same device. This is not different devices. That's Horizon 1. Horizon 2 is where we go, where we increase the number of sensors. So that's increase the number of needles and sensors on each needle on the same device to go after acute kidney injury. That's where we're monitoring things like creatinine and other markers. It's one of the top 10 killers in hospital. Sepsis, it's a fast-moving disease state, perfectly suited to continuous real-time monitoring. Sepsis kills 12 million people every year. And what we call our blockbuster market, cardiovascular disease, that's where we're monitoring troponin and other high-value targets. And in Horizon 3 is where we increase the number of sensors on the same patch, and we go for a patch for every patient. Because regardless of the patient's journey through the hospital system and out of the hospital system through remote patient monitoring, will have clinical utility. For Horizon 2, the TAM is large, obviously. It's over $70 billion in the US alone. So the alpha prototype that I have here, and if you would like later, you can come and have a look at it, has been developing rapidly. We're in first-in-human trials at the moment, and we're looking to launch the device in 2026. We're developing our manufacturing facility that will be able to produce 100 million of these devices every year. We have a 10,000 square foot R&D facility in Melbourne, and we do R&D also in San Diego. So far, we have raised $20 million. We did an announcement a couple of weeks ago of a $14 million raise led by Dexcom, so they're one of the leaders in CGM. And next year, we're heading to a $50 to $100 million raise. Our team is experienced and passionate about what we do. The team's mainly based in Australia, but increasingly we're increasing our numbers in the US. I have Agim Bashiri, our Chief Medical Officer, here as well today, so we're happy to have a chat with you. But we have deep experience in medtech, diagnostics, and manufacturing. And I'm just about out of time, and I'm wrapping up. So every year, millions of people die because clinicians lack continuous real-time diagnostic monitoring capabilities. And we exist as a company to create a world with 0 preventable deaths through continuous and real-time diagnostic monitoring. Thank you.